They were the children we passed by every day and paid no attention to, but they watched us. We had the generation our parents came from, and we had the great personalities of their generation to connect with. We had something to attach ourselves to. They didn't. They were totally disconnected and disenfranchised. They're like a planet out of orbit.
Left for dead. A lot of us grow up, well, let me put it this nice way. A lot of us grow up where the rules that normally apply to most people on how to make it just don't apply to us. It sure as hell didn't apply to me. Most people think to make it, you know, the way it's set up and scripted on me is all you gotta do is get up, go to school, come home, be captain of the football team, go to the prom, get good grades, you know, be a smart ass in school like it's goddamn Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and we gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? That's all we need is to act like that and be like what we see on TV. But the truth of the matter is, man, a lot of us grew up, and I like to call it left for dead only because most people don't really understand how much shit you have to go through, how much crap you have to go through just to make it back to what I would call breaking even and shit. You know, most of us grew up in a situation where we have so much to overcome just to get back to being normal. You know what I'm saying? And normal, I mean, in the sense of, you know, acting like everybody else and shit, walking around here acting like every day's gonna be a good day. I never grew up that way, so you know what I'm saying, it's hard for me to relate. But the biggest thing I want to make sure you understand is for most of the cats who grew up this way. It's not for everybody. If not, listen up. Maybe you learn something. But for most of the cats who grew up this way, you know, there's another way. You probably hear it in the way that I talk on the Rise and Grind. People think I'm being mean. People think I'm being, you know, rough or tough love and all this other shit. But realistically, when you come from a bad area, when you come from nothing, homie, we don't got time to be fucking around. Nobody got no time to be trying to make sure you feel good. Nobody trying to make sure, you know, you got a shoulder to cry on and all this shit. We got a lot of shit to overcome and we got to get to it. That's why I don't sit here and try to make it sound like, you know, like you hear in church. Because no matter how many churches I saw in Compton, homie, none of them ever produced no hustlers. Nobody ever made no money out that shit. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I can't be following them suckers either. But when I mean left for dead, the biggest thing is for me to provide you with a blueprint, homie, so you know. So you have it out there for everybody else who wonders sometimes why you not doing what everybody else doing. You know, let me give it to you as blunt as possible. If a cat was born in Mexico and he came to the United States and he grew up in Mexico, right? Then he came to the United States, let's say 18 years old, and he had to learn English. You know what I'm saying? Would you expect him to be just like everybody else? His English would never be perfect, right? The way he eats would never be like everybody else. The way he thinks would never be like everybody, because he lived a whole nother life in a whole nother culture. And truth be told, man, the majority of us who come from nothing, homie, we lived in a whole nother culture, a whole other way of living, a whole other way of thinking. So when we do make it, or which other people may call make it, graduate from college and shit, we just don't seem to fit in as well. I don't really give a fuck about too much of the fraternity shit or all these groups and all this other dumb shit. I didn't come from that group. I came from groups where motherfuckers had guns. It's a different kind of group. I don't have a respect for most adults, not because I disrespect them, but because I've been doing it so long by myself. What the fuck I need to listen to your bitch ass for? Straight up, that's just the way I see it. I give a lot of women respect because I have a mother. I look at every other dude like, what's the, you know, that it's a man-to-man issue, right? It really is a man-to-man issue for me. So a lot of cats will take that and rub it the wrong way, and don't get it twisted. I've rubbed a lot of my friends' fathers the wrong way because I did not come to be their son. Because you already got a motherfucking son. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, I've been out here trying to make this shit happen since I was 12, 13 years old. The fuck I need you to give me a hug for? That shit feel gay. Penn State on your ass, homie. But the thing is, man, let me give you the blueprint. Let me give you the breakdown. First of all, man, when you get out, when you start on this grind, homie, no matter how young you are, you're going to find out that most people don't relate to you. And that's because realistically, homie, there's not too many of us that make it that grew up like us. You know what I'm saying? Who grew up with all the shit going on with real guns going off, homie. Not that old fake shit that motherfuckers want to paint paintball and shit and laser tag and all that gay shit. I'm talking about in the sense that real shit is popping on the streets. Real shit is where we grew up. I ain't watching Scarface because it's goddamn dope story is I knew people really selling dope. You know what I'm saying? People really stealing cars. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers really out at night, really trying to make shit happen. This ain't no goddamn story you see in Hollywood. So as a result of us seeing this shit firsthand, homie, what do you think we gonna feel when we come against motherfuckers who only dreaming about it, when we already lived through it? Second, man, the biggest thing you have to understand is that when I say we started off in a hole, we started off in a hole primarily, homie, because the schools are shit. We don't got, the police don't come and stop, crime from happening on your streets, homie. Police are harassing you too. It's one thing for the motherfuckers not to stop the crime. It's another thing for them to come and hog tie me and shit on the way home from 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? The shit is just nuts. And then you got the whole thing of not having enough money, homie. And any man in that situation, don't get it twisted. Why everybody out here selling dope and everybody keep calling it like they stupid. They not stupid. Every young man, it's in you naturally. It's God's gift to a man to go out and create a way for himself to get fed up with being poor. It ain't unnatural for a man to get up one day and say, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do something about it. But everybody act like it's some psychological thing. Motherfucker, this is what's making money. It's logical. 1 + 1 = 2. And I'm trying to make my 1 million plus another million equal 2 million, motherfucker. It's the same hustle all over the world. But they make it look like what we do and how we came up is somehow wrong with us. You know what I'm saying? So that's rule number 2. You ain't never gonna relate to these bitches, all of that shit. You ain't. Because they have dreams of being, what they see on TV. I got me a BMW 325i. I got a suit and tie, and you know what I'm saying? I got me a new house and shit, and I just got my girl, and we're gonna get married, and look at us. Man, no, we don't grow up that way. We didn't want that shit. In fact, truth be told, I'll get to it later on in this conversation. Homie, I never wanted the middle, I wanted the top. If I can't be rich, fuck living, homie. This is what I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? I put up on the Twitter and on Facebook the other day, we need to concentrate on the things that make all things happen, not the thing that make us solve one thing. And the reason why I put that up there is in precursor to this podcast is saying, hey, look, we need to concentrate on the thing that makes everything better. Getting this money makes everything better, homie. Fuck what these other bitches are talking about. I don't give a fuck about no group. I don't give a fuck about getting to know all these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about any of that old dumb shit. I don't give a fuck about church on Sunday. Jesus haven't came down and saved us yet, so I gotta save myself. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that side shit that these motherfuckers talking about, homie. Nobody don't want to do that shit. So when I say, left for dead, the reason why I'm telling you is we already started in a hole. And these motherfuckers who never started in a hole don't understand that shit. And lastly, number 4 on this shit is that, you come from being poor, homie. And I ain't talking about that poor that you see on TV like this is a different strokes for some white rich man gonna come save 2 black kids out the ghetto and shit. And that shit is nuts anyway. That's the idea of it. But you know what I'm saying? Where we come from, where, the car never worked right. The lights might have went off. You know what I'm saying? People can't pick you up. It's hard to get a job. All this shit is the way we really live. You know what I'm saying? And then people wonder why you so frustrated, why you angry. If they live where we live, homie, it's natural to be angry. You keep making shit hard on a motherfucker his whole life. I'm talking about simple shit. What do you think's gonna happen? So the thing I want you to know, man, the biggest thing out of those 4 is to let you know that, man, when I say left for dead, I just mean nobody really gave a fuck to remedy this shit, and nobody don't give a fuck to hear it either, homie. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to hear those stories. You know why they don't want to hear those stories, man? Because they tired of it. They think you complaining. And that's the shit that's going to really piss you off as you get older, homie. But don't get your money, man. But you'll see. So the solution to this shit, man, is that, this is why I don't play under that get A's and shit and be the Victorian. Man, look, when you got nothing, the way you get something is to stop playing around and to be as focused as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I put on one of the old podcasts, homie, I didn't care nothing about A, B's, and C's. I wanted P's. Did I pass this shit? Yeah, I'm going home. I don't give a fuck about them goddamn grades. I just wanted to get to where the money is. This is where the money is, and I'm going to get there. You know what I'm saying? That's the first step in the mentality that you have to take with you. A lot of this shit that people come from the bottom, like me and you, when you come from this area, a lot of people act like they never been there. There's 2 kind of cats you're going to run into, homie, when you make it. You're going to run into the dudes who really from there, who act like they never were because they try to dress like it, talk like, walk like, smell like, bell like, dwell like, all these other bitches. You know what I'm saying? They going to act like I never was from there, like it's a class issue. It's not really a class issue. They think it's a class issue. It's really just a whole nother culture we came from. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a class issue. Because them motherfuckers are broke too. You should be learning that from all the shit I taught you on the Rise and Grind. How motherfuckers really don't got no goddamn money, so how can they have class without no money? And the second dude you're gonna meet is probably someone similar to me. I call them war stories. I sit around plenty of dudes, and all my good friends are dudes who came up just like me. And we all sit there and talk about, because we truly understand how hard life was at a very early age, homie, and how all these decisions we had to make without no guidance. You know what I'm saying? How we made many mistakes and how we still on top. And you know what I'm saying? I don't have no, when I made it, when I started the business, when the money was rolling in, these are my same buddies that came along and was real happy for me, because they knew how hard I was trying. And then all the other bitches who weren't really my friends, you know what I'm saying? They're getting jealous, all this shit. You'll run into them motherfuckers too. That's just part of the game. But the biggest thing is, man, you gotta take some of the good shit from the bad shit. Okay? A fertilizer, if somebody takes a shit on the ground, it smells, but if he shits in the right area, you know, crops will grow. That's the same thing that cow manure is, homie. So we gotta try to get the good stuff out of the bad stuff. And the good stuff out of this mentality is let me give you some breakdowns. One, you know how you just generally don't give a shit about authority and everything else? That's very beneficial, because what it does is that when you get out of college, homie, you're not walking into these motherfuckers thinking that they know everything. He a bitch, and he a bitch on the street, he a bitch in here, homie. I mean, you know the same difference. It doesn't make any difference, but they think they are. So that whole lack of disrespect for authority, it's the things that make kings, homie. Don't get it twisted. It takes a certain kind of man to wake up every day and say fuck everybody and go. And that's usually the same man who builds the empire, who builds a kingdom. Don't get it twisted. They try to act like that's not a good part of you. Let them other cowardly ass cats who always want to beg their way to the top beg. Don't get mixed up into that. The second thing that's going to be a big benefit to you, homie, is your willingness to go it alone. If you've already started going down this road and you left everybody else, man, all these other people, I wonder what's New York gonna be like. I don't have any friends. I had one caddy, you know, one of my buddies, right? He called me. It was like, man, how you keep moving to all these different places, Freeman, man? Don't you? How do you feel not having your family around and all this stuff? Like, don't you get lonely or something? I said, not really, man. I'm out here to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Vietnam, homie. I came here to kill motherfuckers. Do I wish I was home sometimes? Yeah, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get lonely. You don't feel that sense of, you know what I'm saying, I don't know how I need to make new friends and all this old weird shit you see on TV. Our life ain't never been a sitcom, homie. So don't take that shit with you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about all that dumb shit. The other thing that's big is that you don't feel the need to, you know, join groups and dress like other motherfuckers. You independent of this shit. You need to keep that with you. Because a lot of motherfuckers are going to do a whole bunch of stupid shit. And they're going to try to make you feel bad because you don't go to this kind of thing. Or you're not part of this kind of group. Or you're not doing this. We get to jump for joy. We get to wear colors and shit. And look at us, we're men. How the fuck all that shit make a man? You mean, you could tell me how all that shit make a man. I still don't get it. You know, that we can all sit there and go have a beer together. I can have beer without being part of no dumb shit. The other thing is, you know what I'm saying, you have to, the strength you have. See, a lot of people, and this is something I have to get into a little bit deeper. When a man comes back from war, you probably, some of y'all have buddies, I have friends who are in Afghanistan right now on his 4th tour, you know what I'm saying? But when my boy come home, right, and we sit down and break bread, everybody recognizes that there's a difference in this man. You understand what I mean? He went through something. And everybody gives him a little bit of deference. The truth of the matter is, homie, we went through something. We not like everybody else no more. We probably started where y'all did, but we ain't y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of different shit in our brain from this struggle, from this hustle, homie, that separates us from everybody else. You understand what I mean? So you have to remember that and never try to fit in anymore, because this doesn't make sense for a man who I don't know, slaughtered a whole village of motherfuckers to come back and act like you with your little pee-pee gun and shit. Your gun is really intimidating his ass. You know, it always makes me laugh when you have people who want to start beefs and all this little shit. And I think that, I guess they worried that I'm worried that you're going to catch me slipping on the street. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about if I was at the goddamn restaurant. I don't care if I was standing next to you in a urinal, homie. I ain't really worried about your bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? This whole idea of what scares other people You know what I mean? No longer scared you. All these things that we learned along the way of homie of how we grew up, you gotta learn to use them for your benefit. And take that same mentality that got you out of the situation, got you out of the bad times, and apply it to the good times, homie. Stay focused, stay disciplined. We know what fucks up the road because we've already been on that road. You know what I'm saying? People, you don't drink a lot, you don't do all this stuff. Look, man, I have a beer every once in a while. I don't have no alcohol in my house, right? I don't smoke no weed. I don't play with dumb bitches. I don't play like y'all do with women. I don't mean that to call women bitches. I mean to say dumb women. I don't mess with them at all. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. I can go down the street, and I don't consider myself to be Denzel in this game, but I don't have no problem saying hello to women and meeting women. But I don't mess with ones who seem to have too many problems. I'm not trying to fuck them and leave them, homie. I'm not trying to. I'm a grown man. I've been a grown man for a long time when all these bitches were acting like little kids. You know what I'm saying? And when I say bitches, I mean men this time. You know what I'm saying? We're acting like little kids and shit, and sneaking into people and trying to sneak them into your dorm room and all this shit. I have my own place. I don't have to sneak shit. Fuck, I'm sneaking for. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You just have to learn to get rid of the shit that takes you off focus. Look, what I'm really trying to say here, let me break it down for you. All the shit you went through, as horrible that it is, homie, as horrible that it really is, homie, it ain't even no bullshit. A lot of us got war stories at too young of an age, homie. We got war stories at 12 and 13. These other motherfuckers got war stories at 26. Looking like we haven't been through shit or that it relates. But a lot of the shit we went through, it made, well, for me, a lot of shit I went through, it made me a better businessman, made me a better man overall. You understand what I mean? It made me a hell of a lot stronger and tougher than these people. Most of the people I go around. And it's not because of some old dumb shit I am, I went and did an obstacle course and shit. I'm talking about real life, real experiences. You know what I'm saying? Made me a better man. You have to learn to take those things and apply them to your game now that we're not in that hole no more. You know, a lot of us are people on the left for dead, homie, because we came from a situation where nobody didn't give a fuck if we made it or not. Where nobody didn't care if we ate or not. Where nobody cared about if we were safe or not. Most of the motherfuckers now that you grow up are going to start saying some, especially when you get a little bit older, they're going to start saying some wild shit like the poor people deserve to be poor. Like the poor people don't work hard. Them motherfuckers don't know. Everybody I grew up with was working real hard trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? But when you only got, $8 an hour jobs and shit, and you don't know how to get up any further than that, you know what I'm saying? How the hell you gonna work, you gonna advance? So since these bitches don't know, they just start making up dumb shit, but they don't work hard. And then it's their parents' fault. And it's not the schools, the parents should be involved in the schools. And these motherfuckers scared to come down the block. I used to always jump on people and say, how can you tell me as a little kid that all I have to do is go to school when you as a grown-up won't even come down the goddamn street? That shit doesn't make any sense that a grown-up, a grown man, a grown woman is scared to come down the street, but he gets on TV and tells everybody else all they gotta do is go to school. That shit is nuts, right? It's for a grown person. But you have to understand, they gonna keep saying this shit. That's why I'm always quiet, sitting around most of these bitches. They don't know where I grew up or how I grew up and the way I think. And they always saying some old slick shit, thinking nobody don't care. But I know there's some cupcakes, homie. But what I'm really trying to say is apply your shit and pass all these bitches by. The reason why everything I say on the Rise and Grind sounds so different from everybody else is because I ain't playing none of that old wish on a star shit with everybody, homie. I'm not sitting here saying, well, if we do like the people in Israel do, and what the fuck I care. Man, I'm talking about real shit that we gotta deal with. Not whether it was hopes and dreams about other shit. So you got to keep this in mind, man. And another thing is, the last thing I want to make sure y'all understand, homie, for the cats pretty much left for dead. There's never going to be too many people who really relate to you, homie. This is you carry the scars, homie. When the motherfuckers come back from war, they go to a VFW, a Veterans of Foreign War, and they all hang around each other. You know why? Because they know the general public don't know what the fuck they went through. And until you're able to find other motherfuckers, you're going to have to stay on point. And you have to build your own empire. See, a lot of people, they think, oh, well, wouldn't you think if somebody came from being poor, they should just be happy with middle class? I know most people are. They disappear on me, but I'm not. I didn't endure all this shit so I can end up sitting next to your bitch ass in some popsicle stick house and shit with some fake siding on the back. Two-sided brick, three-sided brick, one-sided brick. I want four-sided. I want the whole shit. I want it all. You know what I'm saying? Some of us want it all, homie. Some of us, you know, if it's going to be a nightmare, fuck it. I got my guns and went into it. And some of us didn't go into it saying, well, I hope I can make it out. And, you know, now that I make it out, whew. You know, I wanted to make enough money to take care of my whole family. And I'm not talking about just my immediate family. I'm talking about my third, fourth cousins. I wanted to make sure none of us lived to the end. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, tell the majority of my buddies who grew up similar to me, I say, look, you are what your mother prayed for, homie. Your mother prayed for a man. She didn't pray for no bitch. You know what I'm saying? And what she ended up getting, a lot of people ended up getting bitches who scared to be a man, who stay under their mom, who ride shotgun in a woman's car. Most of these women know the difference between a man and your bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? Crying, hoping, dreaming, complaining about them, complaining about everything instead of you doing something about it, getting depressed. You know, a lot of motherfuckers, they can't take the, I don't want to say can't take the rain and shit. They can't take the bullets, homie. You know, I don't find life too hard anymore. Not because it's not hard, homie. Not because I don't take any losses, but none of the losses I've taken, and you know, from my 20s forward have not been as catastrophic as the ones I took on at 13 and 16. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers thinking they don't like me or something, or like I'm really running scared. It's some weird shit. Because what am I supposed to do? I've seen real guns with real problems with motherfuckers shooting in the back of my car and shit. I've already been there. So why would I worry about this? And you know, it's just something you have to think about, homie. What I really want y'all to remember is one thing, man. We came from a fucked up situation. There's no reason to make it better than what it is. I'm not going to sit here and say my life was better or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is I got to take the best of what's there and move forward. And I don't go back to it, homie. I don't sit there and do what other people do, say I'm keeping it real. I know how motherfuckers can really get shot on the streets I grew up with. I don't like to be around that shit. So the thing you have to remember, homie, is this whole Left 4 Dead podcast. It's coming up before Thanksgiving, huh? So, you know, be thankful for giving, you know, for you being able to find out how to maneuver out of this shit. Be thankful that you made it. Be thankful that you know some of the techniques and the tactics and the discipline in order to make it. I mean, a lot of motherfuckers we grew up with fail. You know what I'm saying? Just to throw in something that just really give you something on two sides of life that most motherfuckers don't understand. I was sitting, I think it was in Atlanta on Labor Day, and I was sitting at some lounge or something, chilling. And, you know, life is good, man. You know, I'm drinking fucking Long Island or something, shilling with some people. And then I get a text message over the phone, and one of my buddies got shot in the face and dead. You know what I'm saying? One of the people I grew up with. And this shit ain't gonna never stop, man. This is the life we live. We're on two sides of a fucking coin for the rest of our life. You know, some of our people ain't never gonna make it out. The saddest thing I always tell people is, you know, I don't really want to say it all that much, but you know, a lot of people encouraged me when I was a little kid. You know, a lot of people told me, you know, Freeman, you keep trying to make money. I know you're gonna make it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And all those people are dead or in jail. I'm talking about a lot of them. People I used to wash a car for, dead. People I used to help people, you know, do certain things or whatever, gone to jail, gone forever. Only 50, 70 years. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time that I'm walking around Atlanta with everybody else, chilling, looking like I'm a middle class sap like everybody else and shit, it ain't really who I am. It ain't really what's going on. You know what I'm saying? The way we came up and all the shit we did, some of us make it, homie. That's why I put out the Rise and Grind. Because I really did not intend it to be, you know, I don't like being compared to all them other motherfuckers. I did not intend it so I could sit here and give you motivation. I'm talking real life. I'm telling you real shit. I ain't telling you no 10 steps to glory and shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure some of us live this way. Some of us sitting here got a fucked up life and we don't know how we gonna make it out. But here's how you make it out, homie. You know, stay disciplined to the shit. Leave all the dumb shit alone. Stay disciplined to the shit that you know that made you out. Is the same shit that works for being succeeding. You know what I'm saying? Me keeping my head down and handling my shit day in and day out and not knowing if things are gonna work is the same way I handle my business. Same way I keep building. You know what I'm saying? Same way I learn to be disciplined. Same way I learn to ignore motherfuckers that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talk real big when they got a gun. Not everybody gonna pull the trigger. And lastly, homie, you know, I give you something else real quick. I was in Brooklyn. This fucking, what is this, about I don't know. It was a while ago, man. And I got a cousin out there, and she helped with a lot of the kids who, you know, grew up similar to me. You know, she didn't grow up that way, but I did. So we sat down, and she was like, you know, I want you to speak to him. So I'm sitting there chilling, and then I started talking to him and foster kids and all kind of shit. And I was sitting there saying, I said, you know, I told her, I said, if you want me to speak to him, I gotta speak to him my way. I can't speak to him and goddamn, here comes the sun, kind of hope and pray shit, go to school. I ain't gonna tell him about that. So I sat down with the kids and I told them they were about 13, 12. And I told them, I said, I used to be there just like you. And when some motherfucker used to come up here and tell me some old rainbow shit, you know what I'm saying, that if you just keep doing well and then things are gonna work out, you know what I'm saying, I didn't believe him. So I said, I'm not gonna be the motherfucker telling you this shit that way. So I said, life is hard, homie. You're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of your life in order to get out of this hole. You're gonna have to do a lot of shit that people don't believe you're capable of doing. You're gonna have to take chances. You're gonna have to learn to be a man and a woman at a very early age. Nobody's coming. These days of motherfuckers coming around and making you feel okay, you know they're not gonna be here all day. They're not gonna be here when you go home. They're not gonna be here when you need money in your pocket. They're not gonna be here when you in college by yourself and you don't got no money. They're not gonna be here when you don't know how to drive a car. They're not gonna be here when you get fired from a job. They're not gonna be here. So you're gonna have to take this life on by yourself. And I said the only thing that kept me going is that some motherfuckers say that's a lot to handle. The only thing that kept me going was that I didn't like being poor. I said, how many of y'all like being poor? And they all laughed and said, none of us. And I said, remember that and move forward. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all you need. Take your shot, take your chances. Don't worry about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And, but that's all I got to say about that, homie. Next time, young partner.